Ready? Camera speed and action. My name is Brendan McGinty. I'm a cinematographer based in London, but my work is very international. I work in both the world of dramatic photography, traditional narrative cinematography, and in the world of documentaries. When the opportunity came to use the ZR camera with the two NIKKOR Z zooms, I thought I wanted to do something quite intimate, something that I normally couldn't take bigger cameras. So I had the idea of a portrait film. I thought of Makiko and her art, and being in her space, I did a lot of testing initially. What the ZR and the Z lenses enabled me to do was to be quite spontaneous and improvisational as well, which I think a lot of great art comes from that. I was amazed to find the lack of focus breathing, the sharpness and flatness of the lenses. I immediately had a sense that this camera system and these lenses had my back. I think I prefer that, it's beautiful. Yeah, let's do one more of those. I think a lot of people imagine that Nikon and the NIKKOR optics have only entered the world of cinema now, but this is not the case at all. In my own work, I've been using these cinevised AIS lenses throughout my career. And I'm not alone in this. There's a number of cinematographers who, throughout history, have relied on NIKKOR glass. The name immediately conjures up very high-value optics and cameras. It was quite wonderful being in Makiko's studio and just finding inspiration as it happened. If she wanted to do something, there was nothing prohibitive. Being in such intimate spaces where you have tiny details everywhere and so many textures, that close proximity to the subject allows me to really find and explore the story as it's happening. These lenses are really beautiful for minimum focus. I was practically shooting macro photography half the time. I can get very, very close to the subject without having to back off just to keep something in focus. In stills photography, you have one image. We can take a picture of me wide, we can take another picture of me close. But of course, in cinematography, we can start wide and move all the way to close. So if a lens looks different at close focus to how it looks at far focus, then how do you do a camera move towards a person? So that consistency of how a lens looks under focus is very important. Yeah, that looks amazing on you, straight into the light. There was a real consistency of look from 24, which is very wide, all the way up to 200 millimeters, which is very long, across two lightweight lenses, both very easy to handhold. So it feels like there's nothing you can't do with those two focal lengths. I think you got that. Very nice. Makiko's sculpture claw is this beautiful three-dimensional piece. So I wanted to explore space. I was absolutely blown away across both lenses. I was on a jib where I would start high and drop down and push towards her. So very dynamic movements with a multitude of shots, none of them out of focus. The focus is constantly changing, but with these lenses, there was no focus shift at all. The autofocus is working beautifully. The autofocus, I probably found the most spectacular thing and a bit of a revelation. I had the camera on auto, shooting wide open, and I didn't need to worry about it. What I love about a more documentary, exploratory style of cinematography is that you're embracing accident. I might shoot into a window not knowing how hot the highlights would be, or turn around, look into some shadows, not realizing how dark that can be. So having this safety net there of RAW is a beautiful way to work. There have been small cameras for these moments of intimate camera rigs, car mounts, but it's always been with compromise. Seeing the footage on a premium 4K monitor, I was struck by just how good these zooms are. They're none of the artifacts you might expect. Optically, they feel much closer to a prime. It meant I could focus purely on the creative, color, skin tone, without first having to reconcile the optics. It's really in the grade that you can see the advantage of shooting 6K RAW. We could reframe freely and still deliver a pristine 4K image. The latitude in both the night shadows and the studio highlights was extraordinary. Both the ZR camera and the Nikko Z lenses are going to be part of all my future cinematography. I've used RED cameras for the last 15 years. I can now combine these with these two lenses that I've just used on this project, take advantage of the VR, take advantage of the autofocus potential, of the scale of them, the close focus ability, the consistency, the lack of breathing. I find that tremendously exciting to have tools that can cross these two worlds for me. And I think the key to all of this is not compromising the image quality. Having tools that are small and versatile, delivering the same quality at these very premium cameras that I'm used to using. I think that's going to be revolutionary.